Hey guys, what's going on? It's Chief Slayer here, and in today's video, I have sort of a different one today. I'm gonna be telling y'all the top 5 worst starting rooms in zombies, specifically Black Ops 1. This is just my personal opinion from all the time I've been playing Black Ops. So let's get this started. Coming in at number 1 for the worst, and I mean this is the absolute worst starting room. We have Verrucht Quick Revive side, and I have Verrucht on here twice because there's 2 different starting rooms for Verrucht, and so number 1 worst is Quick Revive, and number 2 is Jug. And I know what you're saying; these can't be the worst. They're just so small. You hardly have any chance at all of doing good if you're on the Quick Revive side, and if you're on the Jug, you have to turn the power on before you can even get it. So it's still not even worth spawning there. There is a total of 4 windows, 2 on each side, and in just my personal opinion, it is just bad. So that's number 1 and number 2 down because they're kind of the same starting room, but different starting rooms. Number 3, oh my goodness, I hate this one. Shangri-La. This is the number 3rd worst spot, or number 1 worst. It's just a bad map in my opinion. You start out in kind of like a prison area, like a Japanese prison area. You're inside this caged off area. You got 2 ways to start down. You get the Arasaka, and I can't remember what the other gun was. I think it's it's either the Arasaka or the Car 98. There we go. So that's just all out another bad one. In my opinion, Shangri-La just has a lot that went wrong with it. If we're going over all around starting room, there's a guy hanging from the ceiling, making jokes about that since it came out. But you start off with 2 barriers, and you gotta fight off zombies, and then you either get to go one way, you get to go the rooftop way, or you get to go down the stairs, which is usually where the mystery box is. So overall feel of the starting room is just absolutely terrible. Dark, not much to it. It's just bad. It's not a fun map to play. You got the swamp you gotta worry about. Then it's just all out a bad map in my opinion. But the starting room just makes it that much worse. I also think about the guns you get to start out with. And if you pick either one of those guns, you're just asking to die. It's just not good. Also, in my opinion, that if you sit there and you're when you're starting out with a pistol in there and you got 2 barriers to worry about, it's just not a fun thing to have to sit there and absolutely worry about zombies coming in, especially when you have a not Springfield, Car 98 and Arasaka. Those are just 2 horrible weapons. They're iconic, don't get me wrong, very iconic. Just not a fun gun to use, especially pack and punch. If you pack and punch those guns, you're asking for the worst time of your life. So yeah, that's my opinions on Shangri-La. That's the number 3. But I think I'm gonna go back to number 1 and number 2. Verrucht. I don't think I covered those enough. Verrucht is an insane asylum, and so 2 people spawn on one side, the Quick Revive side, and 2 people spawn on the Jug side. And it's just a dark feel. Don't get me wrong, Verrucht is a great map. I love it, but terrible starting rooms. And I'm rating the starting room only. So, and I'm rating it also on how it feels, gameplay, and just the all-out gameplay of it, I should say, because gameplay really brings out a map, in my opinion. So if you start off on the Quick Revive side, it's like a it's just like two barriers, a door, and then what I call the waste of time door. If you buy that door just to go in there and buy I can't think what that gun's called, the BAR, you're just asking for a bad time. It's a waste of points, especially in those early rounds. So the jug side is better, but it's still not good. You have to turn on power again before you can even do any of that stuff. So it's not even worth it, in my opinion, to spawn on either or side. It's just not, in my opinion, unless you can absolutely ensure that you're going to get the power on by like round 5. It's just not a fun map to play. It's very good nostalgia, fun map, but not a fun map to play if you're just kind of have a good game. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the number 4 spot, because I just kind of went over the last 3. Number 4, and this one's going to take a while to talk about, because, okay, so we're getting to my least favorite, or my more favorite spawn rooms, because I love these two maps more. Keynote is very overrated, and that's why it's coming in at number 4. If you take everything that Keynote had, it's bad. I remember going over, looking through I was doing some research for this video, and I found out that, did you know that most of the good wonder weapons that were that are in Keynote were supposed to be in 5? Yeah, you know that map that no one talks about? That map that's really underrated for how good of a map it was? Yeah, that's when the Thunder Gun was supposed to be there, and just imagine how much better it would have been on that map. Because seriously, think about it. Keynote had a lot to offer, but it was just a copy and paste of what we had seen. Get the power on, open up the theater, train, get to high rounds, buy your perks, and repeat. Like, it's pack and punch, get to high round. It's just a repeat of everything we had seen. So yeah, in my opinion, Keynote just was really overrated. But we're talking about the starting room, not how overrated it was. The Keynote starting room, you get a Olympia double barrel shotgun, and you get a M14. Two very iconic weapons from anyone who played Black Ops 1 Zombies. You get, when you start off, you get, what's it called? You get two doors out of there, either the top or the bottom, just like, Shangri-La, pretty much just like all Zombies maps. You start out with a 2-door way to go, and so you get to choose up or down, and you kind of have to take a spin, because one, it's 5 doors to open, the other one, it's 4 doors to open, so you kind of take a spin at either do you want mystery box, or do you want to get to the theater first. Well, usually, the starting room, there's 2 stairways up, and a very hard spot to train in. You spawn in, you can't even go through the teleporter, you gotta turn on the power first. There is a total of 4 barriers. It's very dark and creepy. It takes place in a Nazi theater. It's just a lot of work, and because especially in the Black Ops 1 2-hit system, you have to be very careful, because you can go through 2 quick revives unless you're just great at the game before you even leave the starting room. So you got to be absolutely careful about what you're doing. Very difficult map. It was actually pretty easy compared to most maps in Black Ops 1, especially 5. It was the easier pick out of 5 or Keynote, because those are the 2 maps you kind of start with, and then as soon as you buy the DLCs, you get Shangri-La and stuff like that. It was a lot of just absolute work on Keynote. I remember me and my brother used to play it a lot, but it's still overrated. Even the starting room by itself is it's not that great. You get a little downstairs area where 1 barrier is, 3 barriers are. You get that little downstairs area. You walk upstairs, you get like a catwalk area size for running around. Not easy to train in, but you're usually not training on round like 3 to 5. It's altogether, it's not a bad map, it's just very overrated, and the starting room especially, is just not that great. And then, this was a very hard pick, but this is my favorite map of all time, especially in Black Ops 1, and, so, coming in at number 5, this is my most favorite starting room out of all of them. We have 5. Okay. You start out in a conference room. You think about that. You're in the Pentagon. They used a real life place, and this is just my opinion, so please don't get mad in the comments, but you start out in the Pentagon. You think about that. What an iconic place to go. But it's in DEFCON 1 because of zombies, as what the description reads. And it's personally, in my opinion, just great. You start off with 2 wall weapons, the Olympia and the M14. You have 2 ways to go. One side is already opened up, and that is where you can find quick revive. The other side, you open it up, you find the MPL, another wall weapon. So it's a great weapon from rounds 5 to 10. But other than that, you get quick revive, and most of the time you get the elevator and you go down. But since we're talking about the starting room, opinions on it, it has let's see, I think it has 6 barriers. From what I remember, it's been about a year since I've got to play it. It has 6 barriers, and one of those is in the wall, and the 4 are in the doors, and then the other one is in the other side of the. It's in another door on like the other hall. Most of the time in that starting room, you walk around the tables and the zombies just kind of follow you. And it's a good place to keep going back to, even on round 50. Not the best place to train, but all it is, it's a good place to juke out the zombies to get to the elevator to get down to the war room. Great map, great starting room, just great everything. Very difficult, I might add. If you're a player who's just kind of casual, it is a very difficult map. But once you get trained on it and how to do it correctly, I guess you could say the hardest thing about it is the Pentagon Thief, which he really isn't that difficult. You just gotta work hard on getting him down, and he's pretty easy to take care of. That was really, in my opinion, the 5 greatest Black Ops 1 maps, and some of those aren't even just originally Black Ops 1 maps. Those are remasters. I was going to make a top 10 list, but for some reason my other few games would not, or my other few DLCs would not install, so I could not get pictures for Ascension or any of those, which all those I would have loved to put on this list. But it's been a long time since I think Zombies list about starting rooms has came out, and it especially one that's kind of goes along with just Black Ops 1, because I was in a lobby the other day and I find a lot of people still playing Black Ops 1, surprisingly, the remasters or the newer maps for it. But that was all strictly my opinion. If you are watching the gameplay in the background, that is just all my opinion. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I just had a lot of fun making it. It was great video to make. The Reese gameplay in the background, that is from 3 years ago, I think. I was just playing for fun and I recorded it. So I decided to use it as gameplay because, well, I couldn't really make any more gameplay right now because none of my DLCs would install, and I really didn't want to play Keynote. But yeah, guys, that has been my list for the top 5 best Black Ops 1 starting rooms. If you guys did enjoy this, I really appreciate it if you could leave a like or subscribe or both. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and peace.